Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the last episode of FilmBusters podcast of the year.
And the decade.
FilmBusters. Do you know today it feels like an end of term day of school where we're
not really taking it seriously.
Yeah, you can bring your toys in. You can do a non-uniform day.
That's a good description of what this podcast is going to be like.
I'm wearing no uniform.
What's no? What colour tie do you put on?
Red. For blood.
I wear green.
I wear blue.
You would. You fucking would.
Ravenclaw, mate.
Why would you wear blue?
I'm Ravenclaw. What colour tie? See, Adam's Gryffindor. I'm Ravenclaw. And what colour?
Right.
What colour are you? Green?
Green, yeah.
Fucking Slytherin, mate. Knew it.
Excellent, of course. That's me. Anyway, did you have a nice Christmas, most importantly?
Oh,
yes, it was lovely.
Lovely
Santa
Christmas,
Claus
yes.
came to see me.
Was he good to you both?
Yes, he left me some coal.
I got a dinosaur skull.
You did?
Is it real?
A real life Tyrannosaurus Rex skull, which is actually like a foot long. But
Yeah.
Adam thought it was real for some reason.
Adam had to clarify that on the day. Is it a real
I
one?
don't know. It was very early in the day and I was probably drunk because it's Christmas.
And what was your favourite present, Adam?
The podcast that I received with Star Wars.
What, our own one?
Yeah, the FilmBusters podcast of Star Wars.
Oh, mate, you had a shit Christmas then, didn't you?
Yeah, you really did. Mine was a bottle of rum to fill my tum, and that's the life for me. We're going this way, that way, forwards and backwards over the Irish Sea. A bottle of rum to fill my tum, and that's the life for me.
Anyway, should we get on with this?
Yes, This episode, we will be talking about the best films of 2019. Our individual favourite films. It's actually going to end up being our top 20 films of 2019 each, but we're only going to talk specifically about our top 10. There's also one more thing which we will be doing after our top films of the year, and that will be we can amend the ratings of one film for this year. So we each have a film that over time we thought, you know what, it doesn't deserve that rating. It either gets a higher rating or a lower rating, and we get to change one film. And then once it's changed, you can never ever change it again.
Yes, just one. So to clarify, Adam, we are doing our 10 top films released in 2019.
I was in the planning meeting.
Good. And then there should be 10 honourable mentions that don't quite make the top 10.
Which is basically your top 11 to 20.
Correct.
Okay, so first of all...
Oh, let's do the quiz. If you haven't listened to the quiz before, I get points, Ben gets points, Adam gets points.
Wow, you actually explained it, thank you.
You did. Sound like a South Park character.
Yes. This is the last quiz of the year.
Sound like Chef's mum in South Park.
It does!
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I mean, that's what I was going for.
That was brilliant.
I've never done impressions before, but now I can do one.
Oh, fantastic. We'll hear that every week.
Girl Scout came and gave me some cookies to my door.
This is the last
You've got one job,
two
Paul.
questions
one
of the
job,
year.
and that's to host this podcast.
Can you stop talking over me that I can actually just say what I'm going to say?
Truthfully.
To read it. These are the last two questions of the year. This will decide who will be the quizmaster of next year. I mean, we already know who will be, but we have to give the last two questions because we have to do a fair game show.
Will there be an inaugural song for when I win this?
Yes, we'll see what happens. We'll see
Good.
what happens
All
when it
right.
happens. Anyway, Ben is on 16, I'm on 12, and Adam is on 8.
So it's all to play for.
There's only two questions, so if anyone knows maths...
Can we do
Then-
double? Can we do triple points?
No, because that wastes Ben's progress of the year.
Doesn't it just?
Yes.
Let's do triple points. Let's do triple points.
I don't understand what he's talking about.
Anyway, these two questions that I've made, they are both tagline questions, but they are taglines.
And what are they going to relate to?
From films that we have watched this year
For the podcast.
for the podcast.
Oh,
So you
I
both
like
should
that
know
one.
what they are.
Cool blimey.
Cool blimey. Are you ready for the first one?
Go for it.
The first tagline is,
Dun dun dun.
you cannot contain what you are.
House that Jack built.
Wrong.
Oh, that makes
You
sense.
cannot contain what you are.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, I think I know what it is now.
Oh, is it Shazam?
No.
No.
Fuck.
Can I just, before you reveal the
go on.
answer, is it glass?
It is. It's glass.
Oh, man. I jumped the gun.
You
but
did.
it works for a house that Jack built, right?
I guess
It
so.
actually works better for the house that Jack built.
It
because
works
you
for
can't
Shazam.
contain what you are. It does work for Shazam as well, I suppose, yes. Does it work for all the films we've seen this year? Maybe it does.
Probably, yeah. It probably does. It's very vague. It's a very vague tagline.
It's
I
very
think we all
vague.
get a point.
I think
Yes.
I get the point, actually. I don't know why
I think we
everyone
all
else
get
will
a
get a point.
Because it's Christmas, Paul. Where's your fucking spirit?
I'm on 13. This is another tagline of a film that we've watched this year. I'm really particularly fond of this tagline.
Oh,
For a reason you'll probably realise afterwards. Here we go.
go
The
on.
tagline is inspired by a true friendship.
Toy Story 4.
Wrong.
Green Book.
Yes.
Wow.
Wait, who got it right? Me or Ben?
Green
Ben.
Book.
It's Green Book, obviously.
Oh,
How's
Piss
Toy Story
off.
4 inspired by true friendship?
Because it's a friendship between him and Bo Peep and all the friends and their friendship.
Inspired by... Unless the Woody toys in the real world are getting up, walking around and fucking the Bo Peep dolls, I don't think it is.
Let me tell you
I
something,
mean,
though.
it happened in my toy chest.
Green Book, that's a fucking fantasy, mate.
It is a total fantasy.
That's as fantasy as Toy Story.
I know, that is true. Can't quite believe how bad that was. So, I took the final point of the year, and I'm the
Yes.
quiz master.
You're the quiz master. Here we go.
Excellent.
What's his song, Adam?
Ben is the champion.
Ben is the champion.
If that's the song, I'd rather I
No
had
time
one.
for
nonsense
losers,
and
Adam, because
quizzes
we
and rum.
are the champions
Ugh,
of
the
FilmBusters.
horrible.
quiz 2019.
So, Ben, are you excited to host the quiz next year?
I'm very excited. Are you excited to answer my splendiferous questions?
What twist are you going to put on it? Like, Paul's brought one along the taglines. What
Well,
are you going to...
every single answer throughout the entire year will begin with the letter G.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm going to say David Lynch repeatedly, and it's going to come up as a correct answer at least once.
Well, there will be impressions, and every answer will end with G. Begin with G.
Just like these two questions was Glass and Green Book.
Oh, wow. It's like you knew. How strange.
Funny.
Well, that's
Do I get
wonderful.
double points if it actually is Gone Girl because it's a double G?
Yes. You get double bubble for that one, Adam.
Right, shall we go to the feature?
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Let's go
Oh, yes,
to
of
the
course, that feature.
Let's go to the feature.
Let's roll the theme tune.
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Fucking serious.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, I'm on a podcast, boys. Yeah. Welcome. So we're going to just do our top 10s here, Adam. Oh, yeah, great. I like to hear it. So what have you put on there? What's on there? Is it Uncut Gems on it? No, it don't come out till next year, Adam. Oh, man, I'll come back next year. All right, thank you, baby.
Can we kick him out of the podcast?
Yeah, he's not here anymore. He's coming back next year.
I don't even
Very
know what the
good
hell
to
had happened then.
That was my Adam Sandler fake conversation.
That was worst.
Sorry.
There's only one Adam you need in this podcast, all right?
Well, he's stepping in for you in January.
Yeah.
Okay, if he wants to, he can. And you can get Adam Levine.
Adam Sandler. I don't want Adam Levine.
This is
Get Adam Buxton
the
in.
most. I feel like this is the most waffling we've done in a while.
It's good. It's the end of year. It's the end of term episode.
This is the end of term episode. Okay, so we will now be talking about our top 10 films of 2019, but we also have another 10 on top of this, which will count as our honourable mentions of the year. So theoretically, we have a top 20, but we're mostly going to be talking about our top 10s.
That's right. You got it.
Yes. So how are we going to start? Should we start with our honourable mentions?
Yeah.
I reckon so. Just a quick rundown from 20 to 11. Would you like to start first, Adam?
He doesn't want to start first.
Shall I start first?
I'll start first.
All right.
Let's go for honourable mentions. So at number 20 is I Lost My Body, which I believe somebody else might speak about coming out. At number 19 was Endgame. At
Number 19 was what, sorry?
Endgame.
He's so quiet. Why is he so
Endgame.
quiet?
Yeah, you are sound very quiet, Adam.
At number 18 was Dolomite, is my name. Is it that? Was that the full title?
Yes.
Yep. At number 17 is Paddleton. At number 16 is Us, which I don't even know why it's there, really, to be honest, but it was in my top films. 15 is Glass.
I don't
if
know what
you're
that's
Northern.
there.
Alas. Alas.
Number 14 is Guava Island. Number 13, and it's unlucky for some, but it's not unlucky for this film, is Ford versus a Ferrari, or Le Mans 66, because we're in Europe and we understand what Le Mans actually is. Number 12 is Doctor Sleep, because we were going to do a podcast on it, but somebody didn't watch it. We won't be pointing fingers there. And number 11, funny enough, is Apollo 11.
Very nice.
Some good titles there.
I love
Certainly
it.
some titles there that I've got in my top 10, I think.
I believe so too.
Who's up next? I think it's Paulie's turn.
Paulie's
Okay.
turn.
I'll do this. Here we go. Here's with my number 20.
I never did my plot description.
I was going to ask you, but you wouldn't stop talking.
I normally don't talk, so you
It's the end of
take it
year
while you can.
special. The kids have got one eye on the summer holidays. They can't be expected to do work.
Okay, Adam, I'll give you one sentence to describe the plot description.
The description of this episode is we're going to describe our top films of 2019.
Thank you. We've already said that, but it's fine. Okay, are you ready for my ones?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go. At number 20, I have Booksmart.
Ooh.
Is a quite fun comedy. At number 19, I have El Camino. The underrated and overrated Breaking Bad. What would you call
Yes.
it?
Working on it.
Would you call it a sequel?
Spin-off.
I don't know. Spin-off.
Spin-off.
18, I have Paddleton.
Ooh.
A lovely little film.
Lovely.
Lovely. 17, I have Parasite. I have a feeling this is gonna feature in someone's top 10.
Controversial.
16, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh, controversial.
Yes. At 15, I have Come to Daddy, our lovely film from
controversial.
Fright Fest, which me and Ben saw.
We
Very
saw it live and direct at Fright Fest.
Yes, it was very great. Loved that film. At number 14, I have the lovely documentary Hail Satan.
Ooh, controversial.
Oh, yes. Everyone's talking about it at the moment. 'cause
They
it's been
are.
added to Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix now if you want to go watch it. At number 13, I have Anima, the
controversial.
Tom York short film, which is very lovely. I recommend you watch it. Is it still on Netflix?
It's on Netflix
Yeah.
for sure, baby.
Yeah, go watch
It's
it.
actually Paul Thomas Anderson's film, by the way.
Well, it's Tom York's film, really.
It's a combo, isn't it?
Yeah, combo, but it's Tom York's.
Yes.
At number 12, I have mid-90s. This is a
Ooh,
great...
controversial.
Well, maybe. It may be controversial. Who knows? I mean, it is quite close to my top 10, so not that controversial. At number 11, I have Dolomite Is My Name.
Ooh, controversial.
Woo woo. Wah, wah,
Everything
wee,
I say
wah.
is controversial, apparently.
I've
Adam,
said
is it?
controversial about every single one of your positions, by the way. You just haven't listened.
Well, again, it's nice because there's a bunch of films in there that are going to be in people's top 10s as well. So we'll be discussing the honourable mentions, even without intending to do it. We'll be just
100%.
naturally
Controversial.
discussing them.
Yeah.
A very lovely top 10 as well. Bottom top 10.
Bottom top 10.
Yes. top 11 to 20 doesn't have the same ring to it, does
No, it doesn't.
it? No.
Go on, Ben. Reel him
All right.
off.
So, number 20 is A White Day, Icelandic film, which I saw at London Film Festival, and I interviewed the director, and I'll be releasing that through the podcast when it comes out next year. I can't release anything about it until it comes out next year. The King is number 19. Lovely. Timothy Chalamet, I fancy him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
Number 18, Ford v Ferrari, or Le Mans 66, as Adam said. Very good.
Hate to see
Number
it.
17, Baby Teeth, an Australian film I saw at London Film Festival with Ben Mendelsohn, so of course it had to be there.
Oh, I went to the London Film Festival.
Number 16, The Two Popes, which I encourage you both to see. It's on Netflix now. It's so good.
Yeah, it's on
really,
the
really
list.
good. Really, really good.
Controversial.
Number 15, it's another one for Paddleton. Paddleton's got a lot of love in these honourable mentions, which is nice.
Yeah, it needs it.
Number 14 is It Chapter 2, shockingly missing for both of you two.
Silly.
Number 13 is Glass, and that was in the top 10
Glass.
for a long
Very
while.
silly.
order.
Very silly.
That was in the top 10 for a long while. Number 12 is John Wick 3 Parabellum. And number 11, and I know this is going to be on someone's top 10, is, and I'm gutted that it didn't make the top 10, but there was no room for it. It is Beach Bum, Harmony Korine's Beach Bum, which was so much fun and so feel good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Great film.
Controversial.
It's controversial.
So,
Well, that was lovely.
that's all good. Nice mixed bag there.
Yes.
Shall we get into the real meat and potatoes and do our
Yes.
top 10?
Yes, let's get into, as Ben says, the meat and potatoes, our official top 10s of 2019.
Yes.
We're going to list them off, do our 10s first, then our 9s, then our 8s, so we're going to each take turns. I guess
All right.
we're going the same order. Let's go with Adam first.
No, let's play a game.
Okay.
Decipher the order. I've got a little coin here,
Yeah,
right? Hang on a sec. Paul, heads or tails?
tails.
So Paul has called tails. I flip the coin. It's heads. So you just wait there. Adam, heads or tails?
Heads.
It's heads. So you get to pick what position you go.
I'll go second.
You'll go second, right? Me, I'm going to call it tails. It is tails. I'll go last. So Paul, you're first.
Okay, cool. Let's do this.
Let's do this. That was a
Okay.
50 pence piece, people. Round of applause for the 50 pence.
Way making a feature in the podcast. Well done.
It was the Queen's nose.
Anyway, should we go to my number 10 of the top 10?
Right, here we go.
Here we
looking
go.
forward to this.
My number
Buckle
10,
in, people.
sadly, we did not talk about in our podcast, but it is Doctor Sleep. I very much love this film. It's such...
All right, so
was
guys,
a good
wait.
film.
Sorry, just to interrupt here. I'm very glad that this is in your top 10. You and Adam have a little conversation about Doctor Sleep without spoiling it for me, and tell me why you liked it so much.
Okay, I loved it because I think it's such a lovely little piece to go, like, not even be as a sequel to The Shining, just something along that rides alongside it nicely.
In the same world.
Yeah, and I think it's a beautiful, like, it only proves to elevate The Shining. I feel the cinematography in it was so well done. It's such a nice
I agree with
piece
you there.
to accompany.
And I'm going to talk
Shining.
about this as one of my films, which is going to come up in my top 10, what we'll talk about when we get there. But it doesn't take away from The Shining. You almost don't have to acknowledge that. If you love The Shining and you didn't like this, it's not going to ruin it for you. It's just there on the side. It doesn't it doesn't undo anything that The Shining's done. It's just a nice little accompanying piece.
100%.
Is it scary?
It's
It's a bit,
one
it's a
bit
bit
of it is
thrillery.
horrific.
Okay.
It puts you on edge.
Yeah, and you know what bit I'm talking about, Adam? The bit that's horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
thing-
full on.
Shining had such like a unique feel to it, though. Like that like overarching sense of fear throughout, even when like mundane shit was happening. It had this like oppressive sort of atmosphere, and this feels like, I like Mike Flanagan, but he seems to do his Stephen King adaptations are a little more obvious. I mean, I like them, but they're just a little more obvious.
I feel there's some same elements, but I feel like it's a very different kind of horror film.
Okay.
But like it's such a great accompaniment to The Shining. It's unreal. The music, the cinematography, it's beautiful.
Well, I look forward to the Blu-ray release. I think it's coming out mid-Feb.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what you think of that film.
Very good. Well, so am I. But you say it's better than The Shining.
No.
No, I've rated it the same as The Shining.
I rate it a bit less.
Do you think The Shining has stood up, decades later? Are people going to be talking
Yeah.
about Doctor Sleep in decades?
Only time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. Probably not.
I don't think so, eh?
I wouldn't say so. No.
All right, very good. That's a nice one. Nice one to get us rolling.
Yes.
I like to be rolling with Doctor Sleep.
I see me rolling.
I'm hating. Destroying. Oh, I thought
They're
it was
trying to
destroying.
get me riding dirty. Trying to get me riding dirty.
He loves that voice.
Chef's mum. Yeah, Chef's mum, ladies and gentlemen.
That was just me doing a high pitch.
All right then, Adam, before we get off into the waffling territory again about Chef's mother.
My number 10 is Booksmart, which is what Paul put at number 20.
I did.
So, I just thought it was a lively little film about a relationship between two friends and their explanation before they went to college and left each other. And it has very much of a super bad feel. Like, it just makes you feel happy and it makes you feel glad. And I kind of went into this film not knowing a lot about it, which I think is one of the reasons why I enjoyed it as much as I did. It caught me by surprise. Oh shit! They caught me by surprise. Yeah, and it was a lovely little.
Much like that hiccup just did.
Yeah, I know it did. And it, yeah, I very, very much enjoyed it, and it was just made me happy, and it's just like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's
Not
a
cute,
very
but,
nice
like,
little film.
You come out and
I
it makes you
enjoyed
feel
it.
happy about life, and it makes you want to go on a night out and just enjoy and think YOLO.
It is very reminiscent of Superbad. I wouldn't say it's. People were saying
It's got
just
a completely different tone though.
Yeah, it's totally different
Superman's
tone.
very stupid and very silly. This has a bit more of a serious.
And it's quite
undertone.
smart, the comedy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because like selling
It's
it
not
as super bad doesn't sell it to me.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the equivalent. Like the story plot is it's like that one night before they haven't really done much throughout their college lives or school lives, and now they're like one big blowout.
Just like letting loose.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Again, it's something that I was gutted to have missed. I did want to see it, so I will be watching that one too.
And both the actresses in it are very, very good.
The one actress in it is from the Netflix show Unbelievable, Adam.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Paul. I didn't
remember.
realise you'd seen it as well.
Yeah, I've seen it.
All right. Shall I do mine?
Yes, do your number 10 now, Ben.
My number 10, and I think this might be in your top 10, Adam, is Knives Out.
Yep.
So
I really want to see that.
It's up there somewhere.
it has a fantastic cast, and it's marketed as a whodunit, but it's kind of not quite a whodunit as you might expect. And it's so vibrant. The colours are amazing. The storytelling feels alive. The music feels alive. The characters feel so three-dimensional. And Daniel Craig is so good as this like Kentucky detective. And when he starts talking in that Kentucky accent,
You forget
at
it's him
first,
almost.
you forget it's him. But at first, was it a bit jarring when he talks at him? You're like,
The only reason that it annoyed me is because I couldn't quite pinpoint his accent. That was the only reason why it was annoying me.
it's like Foghorn
Where is he
Leghorn,
from?
though, isn't it?
And then something gave it away, and I was like, okay, now
Well,
I definitely know
I'll say, boy.
That's it. I say it, boy. Wow. There's a donut inside of a donut.
I have heard people talk about that.
Yeah, and, mate,
I don't get
it's
the
a very
reference.
funny bit. I know, but look, I've seen it twice. I enjoyed it, even on the second one. It's one that will really hold up to repeat watches, and I'm glad it made it to the top 10 of this year because it was a lot of fun. It was probably the most fun I had in a cinema all year, for sure.
It just keeps twisting and turning.
I've heard a lot
Yeah.
of people say they don't like it because of the fact that it's like portrayed as a whodunit, but then it's not actually a whodunit.
Well,
Well,
that's
that's
stupid.
a bit of the marketing. Yeah, it begins as a bit of a whodunit, and then there's a
You
revelation.
never accept a film from what the trailer thinks it is. You
No.
should accept it from what you watching it in the cinema. Actually,
Of
'cause
course.
that's when you truly find out the film.
Of course.
When the thing that makes you think, oh, it's not actually a whodunit happens, it was when I first watched it a bit like, oh, why are they doing this? And then within 2 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, this is why they're doing this. This is actually far more interesting now.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Well, I'm really excited
You will
to see
enjoy
that.
it, Paul. You will definitely enjoy it.
I can't wait.
There we go.
Well, I guess I go to my number 9 then.
Right, number nine.
Number 9.
Nine.
Okay, my number 9 is very well placed. It's Beach Bum.
Okay.
Here we go. It's featured. You said it was going to feature in someone's top 10, and it's in my top 10.
Excellent.
It's such a great film. It is, as you said, so feel good. The characters are so mental. So mental?
Mental. That's a good combination of words, though.
Yes.
They're mentally ill.
Yeah, they're mentally ill. They're so well written, so funny. You get some lovely cameos of some great actors, and which brings some like utter hilarity to the film. But it's also a lovely like feel good film with a good kind of message for how people should live their lives.
Totally. But it's really weird that it comes from a Harmony Korine film.
Yeah, totally.
He's he's normally so fucking weird and jaded with life, but it is weirdly hopeful.
Yes, so hopeful.
Matthew McConaughey does half the work, I think. If it hadn't been Matthew McConaughey, I don't think it would be half as good, but Matthew McConaughey lifts it, right?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey, he's like... do you remember how he used to be? Like,
I know.
late 90s or early 2000s? And he was good in some shit films. Apart from Rain and Fire, I loved him in Rain and Fire. Did you watch that film?
No.
You wouldn't even recognise him. He's got a shaved head, and he's got some crazy... I think he's got like a goatee or some long beard. Doesn't even look like him, and he's so good in that film. It's about dragons, but, you know...
Matthew McConaughey's always been good. Even when he was doing all of that really shit stuff, he's always been good, but he was just doing too much of the shit stuff.
Yeah, but it was more the choice of films than like how he was in them.
But he's sort of now, I don't know, now he's kind of gone half and half again, hasn't he? Because sometimes he does good stuff now and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah. I love him.
I feel like he's just one of these people that just enjoys being in films, so he'll just take whatever comes his way.
He's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He's very similar to Samuel L. Jackson. But I'm very glad that he took this beach bum role because it worked very well.
Yes, great.
My favourite moment involved the dolphin tour.
Yes.
Adam, if you ever watch this, watch for the Martin Lawrence dolphin tour.
So good.
So good. So good. Adam, I think you would... I don't know. Would you like this?
Send it to me and have you got the screener still?
How did we watch it, Paul?
We got a screener.
What, an actual disc or a link?
Link.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Adam. Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link. Sorry.
We actually got sent a special preview of this film, which me and Ben were very happy to watch. We got a lovely review on our website as well. If you want to
go
read it.
Check it out.
It's Ben's review. It's a great review.
And what's the website, Paul?
www.filmbusterspod.co.uk
/Samantha.
That's always going to feature in every episode now as well.
Yes.
Just until Adam watches the episode.
What used to feature in our first one or two episodes at first, we always talked about Grand Theft Auto and we always talked about Den of Thieves.
Yes, that was it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
For some reason you said Den of Geeks. Den of Geeks.
Den of Geeks is a movie review website.
Oh, yes.
That's why it's in my head.
Anyway,
go on then.
Let's go to Adam's number 9.
My number 9 is something that Paul mentioned in his top 10. And I think Ben mentioned it in his honourable mention, and that was John Wick 3.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and yes.
One we've all seen.
Yes, it's all one we've all seen, and I think we all thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just depends how much, where you placed it in the year. Looking back when I was doing my top 10 in the year, it was kind of a bit one of the ones was, is it going to make it to the top 10 or is it going to fill in the honourable mentions? But I kind of remembered my time in the cinema and I thought that was great. And again, the colours of the film, just the whole way it's all laid out, it's just brilliant. I just love that world of John Wick.
It's so beautiful.
And I'm happy.
It really was good.
I kind of wanted them to finish it off in John Wick 3. Spoilers.
I can't wait for him to bring another one out.
But there's also part of me that thinks, yeah, this is good fun, let's go watch another one. 3 would have been a nice round number, but I'm not too annoyed now thinking about it.
It all depends about, like, have they got all the same people behind the scenes, like the same director, same writer?
Yeah, it's always him, Chad Stahelski.
Well, as long as that's the case, I think it will continue being good. It's when a director suddenly goes, right, now I'm stepping away from the franchise and someone else comes in where it starts getting wobbly.
Yeah, that's why it's so good, because Chad Stahelski is he's a stuntman himself, so it's all stunt, motivated. And to go from where it started to how it was in John Wick 3 with all those amazing stunts for the knife throwing, all the horses and all the bike.
I think they got better, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The third one,
bigger.
So good. For stunts,
the third
it was
one
so
I think
good.
is the best, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And you can't help but love it because Keanu Reeves doing his own stunts. That is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's always special.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy and he loves doggies.
We do. We love a bit of him.
He's the best. He's very nice.
Yes.
I always thought this guy, I never gave him much time years and years ago. Because I just thought he's just a bad actor. Like Matthew McConaughey. I just thought he's just a bad actor. Mm. But, I mean, he's not a great actor. Let's never forget this.
No.
He's not a good actor. He is made for films like John Wick, Matrix, etc. He is not made for dramatic roles.
No. Yeah.
He's a lovely guy, though.
But John Wick is the perfect role for him. Just like Neo was the perfect role for him, because it's not really personality driven, because he's supposed to be this stone-faced kind of killer, or like some stone-faced hacker with no social skills in the Matrix.
Have you ever seen a Keanu Reeves film where you thought, wow, he's acting really good?
No.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Point Break.
Point Break. He's so ridiculous in that, Adam. He's
taking
such
the piss.
Dude, bro, in that. Anyway, yeah, we all agreed that was good.
Yeah, great film.
Wonderful. It's now on Netflix as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They've just added it to Netflix for the Christmas break. Today, I think.
I've got it on Steelbook, mate. I don't need to watch it.
Ooh,
I'm very high and mighty with my Steelbooks.
Yeah. High and mighty with your Steelbooks, nothing else. Everything else gets streamed. All right, here we go. Number 9. My number 9 of the year. This is featuring on everyone's list. Joker.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Joker.
yes.
A very, very good film. I'm not knocking it high. Even the discourse, I really thought, right? We did a podcast on this, and I thought that this might be the kind of film that a few weeks, maybe a month or two passes, and I go, actually, it's not as good. But
There's a lot
even
of hype
just on
around
that one viewing, it still holds up so strongly. There's not anything that I've changed my mind on since. It was very, very solid. I can see why some people have problems with some things in it, but overall, everything I said in the podcast remains. I think it was a great, fantastic, wonderful film. My nose wouldn't be too put out of shape if he did take home the Oscar for his performance as well. But one thing that should not happen is Todd Phillips should not be winning the Oscar for Best Director, because it isn't directed well.
No, I wouldn't say it should get Best Director.
Scorsese's going to win that.
It should be Scorsese.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on. You guys hit me with your Jokers if you've got any updated thoughts. Paul, you obviously love the bits out of it.
Yeah, I've seen it twice now, and what a great film.
What did you pick up on the
great
second watch,
film.
if anything?
More like the foreshadowing of
being a
like
paedophile.
him missing a father figure and wanting that father figure to be like Robert De Niro, and what else? I did pick up some other bits as well. I can't quite remember what they were now. But second watch, it doesn't lose its element of surprise. It doesn't get boring the second go round. That scene where they're sitting on the game show is so good.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro throwing his head back. Gotta love it.
Yeah, bang, straight back. Robert De Niro in that scene is acting like top of his career as well.
Yeah.
Because he has to be subtle, as he always has to, but he has to be subtle up against Joaquin Phoenix's like over the top joke.
Do you reckon he'll get nominated for supporting actor as well as leading actor?
Well, it could do. I don't think he'd win it for that performance though, but it was very good.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's just going to stand the test of time. This film will, really, really stand. It's 100%. One of the few films that came out this year that people will.
It might be on
still
ninth
talk
on your
about in a
list,
few
but
decades.
looking back over like 10 years' time, you might rate it a bit higher. Then it might kind of wade its way up the list rather than go down.
It's possible. If you want to hear more about our thoughts on Joker, we got a whole episode on it, so go check it out.
Go check that out. Right, so my number 8 is 8th Grade. What a suiting number. A suiting number.
I haven't watched this film yet.
A suitable number.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about it, because I keep meaning to watch it.
I really enjoy this film.
It
really brought me back to my childhood, being like this insecure kid who just trying to fit in. And
you don't know
listen.
what
Are you not respecting my feelings?
As you what? Sorry, I was just singing.
My adolescent feelings.
Oh, I've got a kid now. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, it really brought back to my time in school, just trying to fit in, and it's so good. And the young actress in that, she was so well played, so brilliant.
She was really good,
and it was really funny,
Have you seen it, Ben?
really awkward, and you felt the awkward more like, you feel so sorry for her, the situation she's put in. But it's such a great film. I really loved it.
I agree. I mean, I'm actually surprised that I didn't even put this in my top 20. Because that shows how good the other films are, clearly, because I really fucking loved it too.
Yeah.
And it exactly as you say, that awkwardness, that feeling of not fitting in and whatnot, it felt so fucking real from her.
So real.
It felt totally real. Very, very believable. But Bo Burnham, that director, his comedy is so good as well. You should check out some of his stand-up stuff, because he shot to fame on YouTube. He was one of the first YouTube stars, and he was like, I don't know what to do with this fame. I've never had anyone like me before, and now all these people are following me and are willing to pay money to get tickets to come and see a show of mine. And I think he channeled a lot of that awkwardness and whatever into this film. It was done very, very well.
Yeah, very well. Great film. You need to watch that, Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
I will do.
Sounds like if you like Booksmart, you might like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's different kind of feel, but
yeah, you did the Jeff Goldblum noise then.
What'd I say?
Save Spider-Man. What happened? I didn't hear about any of this.
Oh, Jeff.
Go on then, Adam.
Okay, number 8 for me is a film that I know that you loved, and I don't know if Paul's seen it or not, but it's Zombieland Double Tap. And
Lots of fun.
that was a great fun film, and I honestly probably up there with Knives Out. I'm gonna say this now, is the most fun I've had in the cinema. Maybe not only this year, but in a long time as well. Like, it was genuinely funny. Everybody in the cinema was laughing, and everyone was just having really good time. And it was absolute brilliant film, and I recommend anyone who loves the first one to go see it. And I do honestly think this is probably better than the first film. It kind of takes it to another grade. Yes, there's some silly moments in it, and there's some characters that you might find annoying, but overall, it's just a really well done sequel.
The main reason that I don't think it will be better than the first one is because of that annoying character you mentioned. Because that annoying character was just so annoying.
I didn't find her as bad as you probably found her, but
Lord have mercy. Paul, this annoying character is brought into the film, and the point is that she's meant to be annoying. Right. And they think that for some reason that's
fine.
Means that we think, oh, it's fine. She's meant to be annoying, though. It's like, yeah, but she's annoying me. So stop focusing on. But it is a lot of fun, and it is a good film. I don't think it's better than the first one, but it is a worthy sequel. It's a sequel we never knew we needed, actually.
Yeah, and they didn't just do it to make some money or think, oh, let's just flog a dead horse again. It was kind of, they genuinely thought about the film and did it properly.
Yes.
Well, I quite enjoyed the first one, so
definitely go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. You'll enjoy it.
I don't think I remembered how much I enjoyed the first film until I watched the second one.
Okay.
I think that's fair comment.
That's big talk to put in your top 10 anyway.
It's fair comment.
Number 8. It's top 8.
Top 8. Good lad. When I went to see it, they were serving pizza slices and Twinkies. Isn't that nice?
Oh,
that's nice. Did you eat the Twinkie?
I did eat the Twinkie. It was nicer the second time round. When I had that Twinkie, whenever you told me before, it weren't very good.
I can imagine they were horrendous.
Pennywise's number 8 is The Lighthouse. And this is a bit of a cheat entry, because I know it's not coming out here until next month, but
it's really annoying, this film. It's come out in America on DVD.
I know.
And it still isn't out here.
That is crazy.
Let me tell you, boys, you must watch it. I know that is terrible, but please go and see it in a cinema, because it will benefit not so much visually, but from the sound, because the sound of the lighthouse and the waves is incredible. Like, I think it's some of the best sound editing that I've heard all year. But Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson locked up in a lighthouse for a month or however long it is insane. The intensity of their relationship, the intensity of their environment and their situation gets more and more exaggerated, to the point where you're like, what the fuck am I watching? The dialogue is crazy, because you don't understand what Willem Dafoe is saying half the time. And when you do understand what he's saying, it's like, you're saying some batshit crazy things, mate. It's got the right amount of like gritty realism in it, and the right mix of surrealism for me, for it to be like a stone cold classic. Like, I can imagine watching this still in 15-20 years. It's like it's kind of like a buddy movie, but in the worst conditions possible, with no comedy. A little bit of comedy, but just a horrible situation.
How do you think we'd feel about it?
Paul, I think you would like it. Adam, I'm not sure.
I'm very excited to watch it.
I really recommend it.
No, I do want to see it.
It is one of the best fucking films I've seen in a long time.
Ooh. High statement.
The sound is incredible. You must see it in a cinema for the sound alone.
That's good to know.
Throughout, it's the horn from the lighthouse.
Yeah.
It's that sound that is peppered throughout the fucking film, and every time it goes off, it's like, fuck me. Even in this situation, that is like driving me insane. It's real good, and it's my number 8.
Beautiful. Well, my number 7 is John Wick 3.
Hey.
There we go. Don't need to say much more about that, but I love that film.
It is just fantastic, isn't it? Everybody give it a watch.
Yes. Go on, Adam. You know.
Number 7 for me is El Camino, and which is the Breaking Bad accompanying film, I'd say. That's probably the best way to describe this film.
So, yeah.
And it's going to be on there for a lot of reasons, like Paul said, with Dr. Sleep. It's just a beautiful look back into that world. Again, It's probably very overrated and very underrated at the same time, but it doesn't need to do anything special. It's just a nice little, taster of just a little addition. If you've loved Breaking Bad, you don't have to watch this. You're not going to necessarily gain anything, and if you watch it, it's not necessarily going to take anything away from Breaking Bad. The only thing I would say is if you have just recently watched Breaking Bad, give it a year or two before you watch this film. I wouldn't finish Breaking Bad straight away and then watch El Camino, because then you might feel like it's too tagged on, whereas I think the distance they've done between El Camino and Breaking Bad finishing is just brilliant. And it's just, it's an additional ending if you wanted it, if there were people that wanted to find out, or
just some closure for Jesse, yeah.
If you didn't want to know it and you wanted it to finish with whatever happened, then fantastic, you could have that as well.
Yeah, you could.
And even if you watch the film, you could still accept them both endings.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it, and I absolutely love Breaking Bad, which probably makes me a little bit biased, but yeah.
Like, if I was to watch the series again, I don't think I'd watch El Camino afterwards.
No.
Again, it's one of those ones. It's a nice, if you've got a craving to watch Breaking Bad, just watch El Camino. Just nicely, kind of.
Yeah.
Looks through the world of Breaking Bad.
I liked it as well, but I feel like I would much rather have that unknown of Jesse smashing through the gate, driving off, like what awaits him. We'd like a little mystery. We don't need answers for everything. And this was like, well, here's exactly what happened to Jesse afterwards. And that takes a little bit of the magic away.
There are still parts of it that do left you with a couple of questions here and there.
I don't think so.
I'll never think of it again.
No, I don't think it needs to be watched again.
And also, you know the scene that has Walter White in it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like, I don't know, maybe Vince Gilligan was like, I'm going to bring him back, but I'm just going to make it the most normal scene ever. But it felt to me like a missed opportunity. You've got the two of them together again, and it was just that scene in the diner, and it was like, you should have given us a little something juicier from that scene, or a little hint towards what was going to happen at the end of Breaking Bad in that scene, but it just felt a little bit flat.
Yeah.
He's too fat to be young Jesse now, though.
He is.
He's got a fat face.
It does actually look quite fat, doesn't it?
He is chubby.
Yeah.
He's a
definitely
chubby round
changed.
face. Nothing wrong with it.
No. He can have his face however he wants.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants with his life. It's his life.
Come on, Ben. On to yours.
Mine is one that Adam dropped out of his top 10. It was in Adam's top 10 for a long time, and now it went into his honourable mentions. It's Guava Island.
Oh, yes.
So I have a slight bias towards this film because I watched this film. It's the Childish Gambino Rihanna film that went directly onto Amazon. And I watched it about 3 weeks before I got married. So I watched it with my now wife, and we both were in a sort of good mood because we knew the wedding was coming up, the honeymoon was coming up, and then we saw this film, which was a real good fucking feel-good film with music that was like incredible as well.
Yeah.
And we incorporated the song that he sings on the beach to Rihanna into our wedding day playlist as well because we loved it so much. So it had that sentimental connection. But I just thought, do you know what? You've managed to mix your songs, which are already pretty good, but amplify them by adding them into a film, much like the way that Anima did. Add it into a film to raise it up a level, and the story was really good as well. And it was 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and I thought this is super strong. I couldn't fault anything with it. The story was tight. I appreciated the beginning, middle, end. I felt the emotions all the way through. I loved the music all the way through, and it was in a really unique setting. I don't know where they filmed it, Adam.
It's probably in it looked like in the Caribbean or something like that. Didn't know those islands of just magical colours.
It was a unique setting. I appreciated his acting. I thought he was great. I appreciated the performances, and I thought I could not fault this. It was real feel good. I loved it. It was a fucking 10 out of 10.
Nice. I need to see it.
You'll hate it. You'll hate it.
I'll probably hate it.
Yeah, you'll hate it.
You won't hate it.
miserable.
You'll do the worst thing possible, and the worst thing possible is you won't hate it, but you won't love it. You'll go, 7. And it's like, oh, fuck it. You shouldn't have bothered watching it. So I'm telling you now, save yourself. Don't watch it. You ain't
I'm
going to
watch it just for that 7.
Yes. You're going to watch it for Rihanna.
Anyway, on to Paul.
Okay, so we're at my number 6, are we at? And that is Midsummer.
Here it is.
Oh, here we go.
I've watched this a second time now, and I elevated my score the second time round because I was like, it needed a second watch, and with that second watch, I was like, yes, this is a great film. This is so great. I love the peppering of little Easter eggs before the actual final conclusion. Oh,
Yes.
such a nice film. It's so insane, and the visuals are beautiful. The cinematography is beautiful. Great film.
It is a beautiful film to look at. I love the idea of a horror film which is set completely, for the most part anyway, in daylight, bright,
Yeah,
sunny weather.
totally.
That's what I think works. It has a kind of shining element to it because, like I said with Shining, even when things that aren't necessarily terrifying are happening, it feels uncomfortable. That's exactly how Midsummer felt.
Yeah, definitely.
Like beautiful greenery, blue sky, clouds, smiling faces, white clothes, pure, and it's like, but this is horrible. This is a horrible fucking feeling throughout.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend is and I tell you what, she's fucking absolutely
Beautiful.
incredible.
Yeah, she's really good in it. Really good.
She is so good. Like, the Academy will not do it, but she deserves an Oscar for that performance. When every time she starts crying, oh mate, it feels so raw and believable.
Do you reckon an Oscar would ever go towards Midsummer? Because it's not. I wouldn't say it's like
I don't
a
think so.
standard horror film. It's quite.
Dramatized horror.
Yeah,
don't know.
there are other elements in there that
The
I feel
industry
like
look
it
down
could
their
go for
nose
it.
at anything that's slightly horrific for the most
Yeah,
part.
I guess so. Yeah,
It really has to be something different. I think it was a very, very strong film. I
I
was
thought
not
it was really-
expecting it to
yeah.
be as good as it fucking was.
100%.
I was blown away by it, and yeah, I watched it a second time. So I watched it the director's cut, and I don't think you need to watch the director's cut.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
It adds about 20-25 minutes, and it feels a
It's
little
already
bit
long
like
enough.
you're just kind of dragging out what was already kind of a long film. Like, I felt like Midsummer was longer than The Irishman in terms of feeling the length of it. Want to talk about feeling the length of film. Like, Midsummer felt long, but it was like it kind of needed it because it was like you had been there yourself and spent so much time with them.
Yeah.
And the additional 20 minutes was a bit too much.
Yeah, I feel like half the film
I
is.
felt like that with the original.
Yeah, half the film you're just sitting there watching stuff when it feels like nothing's happening, but like a lot is happening. But just
Yes.
extending those scenes not really gonna like improve the experience. I don't think.
No.
But yeah, that is why it is my number 6. It was great. I loved it. Great film.
It's a great film. It appears on my list too.
We've done a podcast on that, so you can go listen to that if you want to.
Yes, jump back and listen to that podcast too, and hear how much Adam disliked it.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, on to my number 6, which is another film we've done a podcast on, so you can go listen to that one as well. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And yes, I thought this was another little very good bookmark and another Tarantino film. Great film. I thought I was going to enjoy it more than I actually did, but yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
Should have been better.
Yeah,
Could have been
that's
better.
everyone's
I'll
comment,
give it
isn't
that.
it? Everyone thought they were going to enjoy it more than they did.
I still just enjoyed it was between Brad Pitt and DiCaprio. I just loved their bond together. It was just brilliant.
Yes, that was a good bit, but it just had a lot of problems, and that was the stuff
Yeah,
that
so
dragged the
if you
film
want
back.
we're not going into the problems here, but if you want to listen to the podcast, we'll discuss it a lot more in that.
We went deep into that film.
We did go deep. I watched it for a second time last week, and I preferred it much more the second time. But all the same problems that I had originally, I still have the same problems. Apart from, I appreciated Brad Pitt so much more the second time round.
Because you knew what you were going to get out of him.
Yeah, and I appreciated his position in it more. I still think the Bruce Lee scene is just really badly misjudged. But I kind of appreciated the ending a bit more than I did before. But I think the fight, the very, very end, the final few minutes of that film are actually really fucking beautiful. The more I think about it, because it was like
from where?
heaven. From the point where DiCaprio is talking through the gates to Jay Sebring, and then Sharon Tate's voice comes over the intercom, and they have that conversation, and just like the fact that they're all dead in real life, and he is separated from them in the film, and the conversation he has, and then he's invited in. It's like embracing a folklore, a fictional hero into reality by saying, this is what we needed, this is what we wish we could have had.
Right.
Either way,
interesting.
I still it's still too, and there's still far too much focus on feet, and Tarantino's just a bit of a perv. I think now he's not even trying to hide it.
It's true. He's using it as like his little niche now, but it's like, no, you're still a pervert.
Tarantino, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you're running around with a woman who's like 30 years younger than you as well in real
You're having
life,
a little baby with her now.
I know, fucking pissant.
Pissant.
Anyway, fuck that guy.
On to your number 6.
My number 6 is a documentary, and it's called Gaza, and
Oh,
it's literally about the Gaza Strip. So these two Irish documentary makers, Andrew McConnell and, forgive me, I've forgotten the other guy's name, spent about 18 months to 3 years in Gaza with the people, and just followed them in their day-to-day lives to see what their days were like. So they had like a baker, taxi driver, a girl who wants to travel to America to study, and he just immerses themselves in their life. So rather than paint a picture of it as this war-torn country, he tries to show the humanity of the people there. And I fucking feel very, very strongly about the Israel-Palestine conflict, and I feel very, very strongly that it's one of the fucking tragedies of our time. So to be able to see the beauty that is in this place like Gaza on screen was incredible. And of course, the bombs inevitably drop in the documentary, and you then see the fallout based on these people that you've got to know and like and appreciate. You then see what's become of their lives afterwards, and some of them die naturally along the way, and it's fucking harrowing and tragic. But it was just so moving. Seriously moving, man. Really fucking powerful stuff. It's the kind of shit that everyone should have to watch to be aware this is going on in the world right now. And if you want to go onto the website, you'll see my interview with the director. Andrew McConnell is on there. He was a lovely guy, and at the time that I interviewed him, he was trying to get the Red Carpet Festival back up and running in Gaza, because Gaza for the longest time had this Red Carpet Film Festival, where a literal red carpet was rolled through the rubble of Gaza to a screen, and people in Gaza could go and watch films, and it was at threat of not running this year. And I'm very pleased to say that there was a crowdfund campaign that kicked off, and enough money was raised for it to go ahead, and Gaza, the documentary, was shown at the film festival in front of all the people, which was very significant. It was fantastic.
I really need to watch that. I've been really into my documentaries at the moment, and that sounds great.
Oh yeah, do it, mate. It's on Amazon, I think, as well.
I need to get Amazon, don't I?
You do. We were just talking about this over Christmas as well, like balancing up Netflix and Amazon is the one for film. And even like sometimes,
especially recently,
yeah. And even if it costs you like the other day, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I thought I ain't going to buy that film, but I do want to watch it again. So let me just spend £2.50 and watch it again.
Yeah.
And that was it. Done. Get on it.
I will.
We're halfway through our lists.
Woo!
Yay!
On to my number 5, I guess.
Number 5 is number 5.
So this is a film that, as you said, it came about at a time in my life that meant a lot. It was very significant in my life, and this is Toy Story 4.
I was thinking, what's this? And I was like, oh right, yeah, I know what it is. Toy Story fucking 4. Here we go.
I honestly put my hands up. I need to watch this film again, because
you better put your fucking hands up. Be under arrest for terrible takes.
Put your hands up for Detroit.
I want to make sure I loved it as much as I did, or whether it was just. Excuse me, Adam. We're having a nice conversation here, and you're singing over me.
This is Adam's go-to thing, isn't it?
So I just want to make sure that my emotional feelings for the property don't override my feelings for the actual film. And the fact that I call my son Woody, 10 out of 10, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure the other day on Letterboxd I saw that you had dropped that score.
No, I've never dropped it.
So it's still so in your memory, it's still a 10 out of 10 film.
In my memory, it's still 10 out of 10 film. But I want to watch it again, because sometimes I give it that second watch and it's just whether it still holds up. And I like to give everything that I rate a 10 or a 9 a second watch to make sure it does hold up, whether it can be rated higher or lower, just to solidify that score for it. And this is my first 10 on the list, so it needs to solidify its position again, so I need to give it that second watch. But I loved it. I love a bit of Toy Story.
You loved it. more so, yes. It's because you're so intrinsically bound to it all.
Yes.
I forgot that Toy Story 4 even existed.
Don't be silly, mate. You're trying to
You can
sass
go
me.
one or two ways with these things that you're so emotionally connected to, though, because like you can feel real protective of it, and then when someone comes along and another one's done, you're like, oh man, why? No, that's not it. Or you can go the other way and just be like, oh, I don't care, it's them, it's those characters, so I'm in it whole hog.
100%. That is, and it depends. It does depend on how like close you hold the originals to your heart, kind of thing.
I thought maybe we had been very harsh on it the other day when we talked about it on the podcast, me and Adam, but then I can't even remember who I was having a conversation with. Maybe someone at work started talking about Toy Story 4, and they were listing all the problems that I had with it, and I was like, oh good, so it's not just me then.
Yeah.
I think you were too harsh on it, mate.
No, the main beef is the splitting up of Woody from the rest of the gang, because
Don't
it's
be
like
silly.
that's what
Woody
people want to see.
See,
no,
that's
but that's what
just,
people want to see.
That's just you wanting to hold on to the same old story tropes.
No, because there's untapped potential when they're all together. You can create a million stories, but have them all
The
together.
best parts of the film were when they were all together.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're meant to be a unit. It's about them all as toys, not just and now let's follow Woody off on his love life. It's like we love stories are boring anyway, and the last love story we want to see is Woody and Bo fucking Peep. Bo Peep was
It wasn't a love
footnote in the
story.
first-
Don't be silly.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, we should not talk about this because we're going to get too deep into it. If you want to hear a podcast to us rowing over Toy Story 4, me defending it with my life, then you should definitely listen to the podcast.
Oh,
I think it was our most heated podcast this year.
Yes,
And
the word
it's
cunt
probably-
was used in it.
Yes, it was.
Very heated.
You should definitely go over and listen to that because it was a good one.
It was a good one.
Someone even said recently that it was the best podcast we've done.
Oh,
I did enjoy
So
that.
that is high praise.
high praise indeed.
Go on, Adam. Go on to your number 5.
My number 5 is a film that came out recently. It came out as a Netflix original. Ben wanted to watch this one at the London Film Festival, but he didn't get a chance, and he then watched it recently. It's Marriage Story. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it was just a nice story. I got very, very, very involved with the characters and just enjoyed the whole story. And I found the film just quite fascinating to see, obviously, how people react in this given circumstances of this terrible time in their lives.
Adam, are you in love with Adam Driver?
I don't understand. I'm doing very like him.
I thought
when I
you
first
really
watched
loved
him
it.
the first Star Wars, I thought he was going to become a bit of a gimmick actor. But then the more I see him and the more he does, I'm like, you actually are a genuinely good actor below that. Like, he's done a lot of
I don't
films now.
think he is.
He's a good actor.
Let's go down the list, right? So you give it a 9. I give it an 8. So my stance in this film was it's only just got an 8 because
It's only just got a 9 for me. It was an 8-9 borderline.
Yeah, mine was 7-8 borderline because for the first half of the film I was really not enjoying it,
Okay.
and then I did get kind of emotionally attached to it a little bit, and it was more that final reading of the letter was where I was like, okay, this is good. This is a good piece of acting, right?
Is it the bit when he's in the bedroom and then she's
Yes,
standing at the doorway?
That is the bit. But I wouldn't say it was fantastic. I was still.
The more I think about it, it's a film that you keep thinking about afterwards.
Never thought
And I
about
don't
it
really
again.
care for Scarlett Johansson. I do quite like Adam Driver as well, but I just enjoyed the film.
Well, I like Scarlett Johansson and I don't really like Adam Driver, but I thought both of them were kind of fine in the film for what they had to do, but I just didn't think it was as important as so many people seem to be making it out to be.
I don't think it's important at all.
I do think it's come with a hype. I think I watched it as soon as it came onto Netflix, and then the week afterwards, people are like making it out to be the best film ever, and you can see people talking about it constantly. They're putting up scenes of it every single second they possibly can,
Odd.
and it kind of fell into that film Twitter kind of taking it to be the greatest film that's ever existed.
This is the problem with film Twitter. They grab a film into their bosom before they've even seen it, and they fall in love with it. They fall in love with the idea of the film, and it was overly long. People complained about The Irishman being 3.5 hours.
It was only 2 hours.
This was
It was
2
only
hours
2 hours
15, but it felt fucking long. And
I didn't feel that at all.
It was a story that didn't need it as well, and they were both completely unsympathetic as far as I was concerned, but totally. The director, I was talking to someone at work the other day who knows his work, Baumbach, whatever you call him, and she said that he, in all his films, he's a child of divorce, I think, and he quite clearly has a problem with women in relationships in his films, and she didn't want to watch this Marriage Story because she thought that bias was going to be there. And I said, I haven't really heard that. I've heard that it's kind of quite neutral, but I watched it and I'm like, fucking, the bias is there, man. You see a bit of Scarlett Johansson's story, but you're totally watching it through Adam Driver's fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one to lawyer up first. She's the one to move the kid away. He's the one who, even though he's fucking cheated on her, is still considered as blameless or as much to blame as he is. I didn't care for that shit. I found it fucking eye-wateringly dull. And people going, oh, but you have to be married to really understand and appreciate it. Well, I'm fucking married and I don't understand or appreciate it.
I just quite enjoyed the film. I thought it was a nice film.
And you're perfectly within your right to, and I love that you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll watch it again.
I don't think I ever will.
That was
that's the
angry.
thing.
You watch it again, I fucking love it.
Passive aggression. That's nice. What number was that, Adam, though? 5?
Yeah.
Wow. From the entire year, that was your 5th favourite film. Fuck me.
Yeah.
You two
Also
got bad
remember-
takes in your number 5. Toy Story 4 and Marriage Story.
What's your number 5 then, if you're so big about it?
You ready for my number 5, baby?
Yeah.
Dolomite is my motherfucking name.
It's a good call.
Okay.
Because that, exactly, you know that's a good call. That was, I loved it because I always liked Eddie Murphy's sort of stuff from like the early noughties. Not loads of it, but Life particularly was one of the best comedies I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
And he just gone and done so much shit, family shit. Since he started doing Shrek, it's all been family stuff. And he's gone off the radar and he let himself get podgy and out of shape. And he's just not a very good actor or comedic actor or anything. And then when this popped up, I'm like, well, Eddie Murphy's back? What the hell is this? And I didn't even know who Dolomite was. And then I watched the film and I was like, oh my God, Eddie Murphy is back. He's not only doing comedy, he's bringing some real heartfelt shit to a film that would have been really easy to just fall into the tropes of let's treat women like shit and let's just make it about making money and getting drunk and living a flamboyant lifestyle. He was a really interesting, multi-layered character played by Eddie Murphy, who kind of is that in real life. It was a great return to form, and I've watched that twice already as well. The soundtrack is great.
You?
The laughs are wicked. Yeah, I watched it with Jenny the second time round.
Oh, lovely. Did she like it?
Yeah, she loved it.
Oh, that's good.
Did you like it because you made her like it?
No.
No, I totally appreciate that. That's I love that film as well. That was great. So funny.
What's
Wesley
the fun?
Snipes in it. He needs a mention because he's fantastic.
Oh, mate, yes.
So good. Have you watched it, Adam?
Overwatch, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was in my honourable mentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Wesley Snipes, man. Yeah, Wesley Snipes. Again, him. He's another actor. Like, he fucking went off the face of the earth for God knows how long because of his tax problems. And then he came back and then he's gone into this. And it's like, oh, shit, that's a really, really funny performance from Wesley Snipes. I didn't know he could do comedy.
Yeah, that was great. Totally, like, you wouldn't even expect him to do that kind of character.
Yes.
Great. Really good. Loved it.
Good fun. And that's the last of the comedies on my top 10 list.
Right, should we go to my number 4?
Yes.
The Irishman.
Ooh.
Here it is.
Its
Its first appearance.
Its first appearance on a list. Woody's crying in the background, but it's fine. Everyone
He's
knows
annoyed
it's
that it's
Woody.
only number 4. He thinks it should be higher.
He's upset that The Irishman beat Toy Story 4, but it's fine.
Yes, he is, yeah. That's a proper protest cry.
What a great film. So it's just so iconic. You know you're watching magic in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
We literally did a podcast on it like a couple of episodes ago. If you guys want to watch it, but so beautiful. The actors in it, the performances, just the journey you went on, this epic journey.
Just watch it.
Fantastic.
It's like impossible to summarise why it's so good without just going back to our original podcast. But yeah, it's pure, unrivaled cinematic bliss.
Yeah.
That Adam didn't like as much as we did.
No, he didn't. Go on, let's go straight to the next one, Adam. Go on.
Number 4 for me is we've already talked about this film, so I won't go into much detail. But it's Knives Out.
Very good.
Again,
Very good.
another brilliant trip to the cinema.
I'm very glad that it
Fantastic
features
film.
in 2 of our top 10 lists. That's good. And my number 4 also is one that we've already discussed, so I won't go into it. Midsummer, number 4.
Very good. Make
Couple
it
of
where
solid
that list
entries.
is.
It
Very
is,
good.
it is.
Yes.
And then I guess I go to my number 3.
Oh, here we are, the top 3.
This film literally ingrained in my brain for months, and I was like, I need to watch this film again. I need to watch this film again. I need to watch this film again because I loved it so much. I changed my rating because I loved it so much. And this is Us.
Oh,
Here we go.
I love this film. I thought it was such a great story. Jordan Peele did like such a good job in this film. It felt old school. I loved the original kind of story. Just the beautiful Easter eggs throughout the soundtrack. I love it so much.
The soundtrack had seduced most of the audience before they'd even seen the film. Because that remix of I Got 5 on it had already got people going into that cinema screen like, oh, this is going to be wicked.
Yes, definitely.
And that
definitely.
marketing, Adam, you are so fucking annoying when you do that sometimes. I need to get a nail and place it under your chin and then use a croquet mallet and not hit the nail, just hit you in the balls.
That's very, very sinister, Ben.
Adam, were we drunk when we saw this film or something? Because me and you saw this together in the cinema, and
No,
we
we
both came out of it and we didn't
yeah.
really care for it that much.
Yeah, but I don't think even that had anything.
You still rated it like decently though.
I know.
Also,
I think it was an 8
if
or a
you're
7,
drunk,
I
you're
can't
probably
remember.
going to enjoy it a bit more.
I'd like you to watch it again.
I gave it an
I don't
8.
care for watching it again. I felt at the time I really wanted to watch it again, but
I don't
looking
know.
back on when we first watched, I don't really care.
I feel like I would watch. I don't know. You know, there's those couple of bits of conversation because at that time, Paul, you'd only seen it the one time where we were discussing certain things like, oh, what did this mean? What did that mean? There was enough intrigue there to maybe warrant a second viewing. But now enough time's passed, and I think I don't care for it. About it.
I think you should watch it with
The
Jenny.
only thing for me is I appreciate Get Out a lot more the second and third time I watched it than I did when I first watched it.
I agree with that. I appreciate
And
Get
I
Out
felt
much more
like
the
Get
second
Out,
time round.
again, it came around with hype. And when you watch it again by yourself and you know what to expect, you actually do understand it a lot more.
The
So
thing
I
with
don't
us,
know.
it's funny because, it gave it an 8, but it feels like I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, same. But I must have done in some way.
Yeah, we must have done.
Maybe we got
give
stuck
it that
up on the
second
hype.
watch. Make sure
All right,
solidify
maybe a
your
second
score.
watch.
Solidify
Maybe
that score
it's-
Why is it a 10 for you though?
because I literally loved it so much. I cannot tell you how much I loved it. It was
Do you love it more
I
than
left
your
the
son?
cinema, and the more I thought about it, I kept thinking about it. I dreamt about it the night I watched it. I was just like thinking about it constantly, and I was thinking about like the backstory of it all and how not just what happened in the film, just like how the film was thought about and like the history behind the film and how this underground place was created and I loved it. I loved it so much.
You need a girlfriend, mate.
I got a fiance, mate.
Yeah, that's not girlfriend, then, is it?
That's what you need. Yeah, you need a girlfriend as well to distract you so you don't dream about underground lairs and the history of them. No, I dig it. That's very good. Why
Listen
not?
to listen to our podcast on it though. We've got a one on this as well.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
It was good.
Anyway,
yeah,
on
well
to-
done.
On to my number 3. Again, we won't go into much detail because we discussed this in a podcast and we discussed this already. But for me, it's Joker.
Riding high, hey, riding high.
Riding High.
Riding
It's
High in
a brilliant
April.
film. Shut down in May.
Oh, look what I did! Look what I did!
What did you do?
I just did a Frank Sinatra song,
Oh, right.
and it's actually the song that features in Joker.
We'll do the Gary Glitter song while you're at it, you paedophile.
That was very uncalled for.
Anyway, yeah, we've discussed this in great detail already on the podcast and just now. So yeah, Joker for me.
Joker.
Lovely.
My number 3 is the Paul Thomas Anderson Tom York short that was mentioned earlier, Anima. Saw this at the IMAX.
At least you
earlier
gave
in
them both
the
the
year.
credit.
Yes, I give them both the credit. Paul Thomas Anderson is wonderful, and Tom York is wonderful. Radiohead are my fucking favourite band. I love that man so much, so when I saw that he was making new music and making a little short film with Paul Thomas Anderson, I had to see it, and the visuals perfectly accompany the music. And I know it's only a short film, I think it's like 20 minutes max, maybe not even that, but the story that's told over the course of the 3 or 4 songs that Tom York performs is really, really very, very beautiful. Particularly the opening song where they're riding in on a train and like falling asleep essentially, and then going into the nightmare dreamscape is good. But their final song, when they sort of come out of the nightmare, or do they, and go on to the new forms of transport, is really beautiful. And particularly beautiful is the girl, his love interest in it is his girlfriend in real life as well. So there was sort of like a genuine honesty to it. It's very good. Adam, have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen it.
What did you think of it?
I actually gave it a high score, but I don't know why they're not included it in this list. I think it's because I classed it as a short film.
Short, I know. It's a bit cheeky to put short in, but I cared for it so much, so it's going in.
I put it in my honourable mentions.
I know.
Do you want a medal?
He does.
No.
Good, then shut up.
But everyone can watch it because it's on Netflix.
Yes, you can. Lovely little film. I very much enjoyed it as well.
It reminded me a lot of Metropolis.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the kind of visuals, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, shall I go to my number 2?
I haven't familiarised myself with your 2 lists, so I don't actually know what you 2 have got at 2 and 1.
So
I think I know what Paul's got at 1.
We've also done a podcast on this film. I cried multiple times in this film.
Oh, it's Endgame.
Oh no!
It's Avengers Endgame.
I thought we might have dodged a bullet by not having any superhero shit in our top 10s.
No, it needed to
Well,
feature.
look, Joker's technically.
That's not superheroes.
Joker's heavily featured, mate. No, it's supervillain. Yes, but Endgame, it was a great ending to the run of films they've made so far. I know it's not ended. I wish it had ended, but the ending they had put forward was very nice. I loved it. I cried. It was epic. Very beautiful.
It was about as epic as a box of roses, Cadbury's roses spilling on the floor.
You fucking enjoyed it as well, mate. Don't worry. I know you enjoyed it.
Well, I'll tell you what. At the time that I saw it, I'd been forced to go on a run of Marvel films.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go and see it. So I had to, in about a space of 3 weeks, I watched about fucking 15 Marvel films.
You didn't watch that many, mate. You watched about 4.
I think you'll find, if you go and look at all the Marvels that I watched a hell of a lot of them.
Anyway, come on, get to the point.
And the reason that I think I cared so much about Endgame at that time was because I've been on such a burst of them over a short period of time that to see them all together, I had to up the ante based on what I'd seen in all those individual films. But now that time's passed, I liked it less.
That's it. That's fair enough. That's fine. I like Infinity War less now because of that whole the big impact in that film was about them not coming back. And
but you knew that at the time.
I knew they weren't coming back, but that was a good ending for that film. But then it's like now we don't need to watch that film anymore. I
know, exactly. And listen, it wasn't a good ending because even in that podcast, I was telling you boys, this ain't why. Don't believe what has clearly not happened.
I know. That's what we were telling Adam. I knew they were coming back, mate.
Well, you knew. Adam didn't know. Adam thought they were all dead.
I was hoping they were dead. I was holding on to hope.
Yes, we could only hope, but we knew they were coming back.
I hope and pray that we never have to do another Avengers film for this fucking podcast.
That's fine. We don't need to, but it'll probably happen.
We won't be doing another one.
I hope they just never make any more films ever again now.
Well, they've already announced about 50,000 of them.
I know.
So that's not happening.
I know, but that's just how it is. And I'm not interested in any of them.
You are.
But we'll see. I'll watch them anyway.
I'll tell you what, right? This is slightly out of context, but I preferred The Rise of Skywalker, which was a 7, to Avengers or whatever this one was called. What was it called? Endgame. I preferred that to Avengers Endgame, and I gave Avengers Endgame an 8, and I gave Rise of Skywalker a 7. So I need to revise that.
Oh, okay.
And Rise of Skywalker was bad.
Yeah. It wasn't bad, it was just fine. It was bad, but it was fine.
Do you know what? I've been thinking about Rise of Skywalker a lot, though. There are different elements in it, especially Babu Frick.
Just solely Babu Frick.
Love him.
Anyway, go on, Adam, your number 2.
My number 2, again, we've discussed this film and we've done a podcast on it, so I won't go into too much detail, but it's The Irishman.
Very good. It didn't sound like you were going to put it in number 2 when you were speaking about it before, though.
I know. Well, it sounded like you disliked it. You didn't like the jumping
But this way,
around
I
time.
haven't got a single number 10 in this, so yeah.
I know, you're very stingy.
Very stingy.
Well, My number 2 is, and Paul debated whether this should be in my top films released in 2019 because it came out in 2018, but in the UK it only came out in 2019, so I'm including it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And it is mid-90s, which Paul mentioned very kindly earlier too.
I
I don't know why I didn't put that in any of my lists, because I did quite enjoy that.
Because you didn't like it, mate. That's why.
No, you didn't like it.
Fucking
It's not
shoot me
related.
down.
It truly is one for those who experienced the 90s and who were
Alive to remember
sentient enough to experience it rather than just
Be born in the 90s.
being born for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
To have been
6.
a child in the 90s. It was very, very relatable and very similar to your experience with 8th grade, Paul, was my experience with mid-90s. That sort of feeling of kind of knowing that you're not like everyone else, but then identifying who you are based on the misfits that you hang with.
Yeah.
Is kind of it kind of rang true a little bit, and I thought his performance was just the kid's performance in that was as good as Elsie Fisher, I think her name is, from 8th grade. That sort of believability in that very vulnerable position, and the whole supporting cast, the way it was directed, the music, the visuals, even the skateboarding, which I could really give a fuck about, but the skateboarding was very good, very pleasing on the eye too. And I just loved the whole story from beginning to end and everything that it sort of represented.
Yeah.
It felt really, really like a film that had been made then and was put in a time capsule and released now. It didn't feel forced at all. I've seen some comments say there's one too many 90s songs or one too many 90s t-shirts, but fuck it, man, that's what everyone was wearing back
Yeah,
then.
it's true. It's the sign of... That's what people were wearing. It's a sign of the time. Just
Yeah.
get over it.
So Jonah Hill did very well.
I was wearing those T-shirts.
Yes. Oh, you got that Ren and Stimpy one still.
Never had Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, you stupid idiot.
I had the Rocco's Modern Life, mate.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. Did you like Rocco's Modern Life?
I did. It was all right. It was fine.
You can watch that film on Netflix at the moment, but it's not very good.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
No, it break your heart a little bit. Anyway, so mid-90s, I wish I could say more about it, but really it's one of those things that I think you either like it and it will really speak to you, and it will feel really personal. That's the beauty of it. Like 8th grade feels personal. You know
Yes.
those films that are like made, and all films are made for profit, obviously, at the end of the day. But generally speaking, some films are made to be appreciated
heart.
on a large mass scale for a mass audience, and some films are made, and the best way to experience them is personally. Just let it sit with you and watch it and relate to it and feel like, fuck, yeah, man, that's beautiful. I get that on a one-to-one level.
Yeah.
Like, they're never going to do a mass screening of mid-90s for people because it just don't work in that way.
No, it's for a secular audience.
Yes, it's very intimate.
Well, there you go. That's
Anyway, on to
two.
our number ones.
My number one. You guys can guess what my number one is.
Oh, I like this film because I like Batman.
So it's the only film to have featured on all of our top 10s so far.
Let me say that
Yeah.
Chef's mum, she knows. It's the Joker.
The Joker.
We spoke about his
Go-
film, but you know,
go-
I love this
go-
film. It
go-
is in
go-
my top
Car.
10. I think, what do I have it at? Number 6 of all time? Number 6 or 7? I can't remember what I have it. But it's in
Wow.
my top 10 of all time. I absolutely love this film, and we spoke about it already, but yes, it is the Joker at number 1.
Give us some final thoughts since it's your top 10 in your top 10 of all time.
I cannot wait to watch this film again. I've watched it twice already. It penetrated my soul. This film was absolutely beautiful.
Do you feel like you relate to Arthur Fleck?
I do. I can't wait to kill someone. I can't wait.
I mean, I'm being serious.
I don't relate to him, but I think it's a great study on mental health. It's great.
Yeah.
And give Joaquin that Oscar. Give it to him.
Well, there might be someone else.
There may be, but give it to him. Just give him an extra one.
Why do you think he dances after he kills everyone?
He's happy. He's at peace.
Because he's a nutcase.
Because the only time he dances is after he kills.
But we don't know he kills the girl.
Sorry?
We don't know that he kills the girl.
Well, then that means he does kill her.
Yeah, but Oh yeah, he does. Oh, that is good. That's a good shout.
Nah,
He danced after he killed the guys on the train. That's correct.
that's right. He only dances after a kill.
Ooh, but he only done a really short dance after Robert De Niro.
It was very short, but he still. It was like he couldn't. He couldn't.
He
hold
knew he
it
had to
back.
get out of there. He needed to get out of there.
If he'd had privacy, if there weren't people around, he would have done a bigger dance. But he got too embarrassed in front of everyone. I know. I want to see that fucking film again. It was
Yeah.
it was top. It was top banana, as they say, as all the cool kids are saying.
Top draw.
Lovely. I love it.
Wonderful.
Go on, Adam. Give us your number one.
So my number one film is a film that has been mentioned on Paul's honourable mentions. We didn't do a podcast on it, and Ben hasn't quite seen it yet.
Oh.
But my top film of the year is Parasite.
Ah,
Tell
okay.
us.
Come on, tell. But please don't spoil it. Go on, tell.
I can't. Okay, this is where it's gonna get awkward. I don't want to speak too much again, not to spoil it for you. But it's just so well done, and you kind of. It's a film that encapsulates a lot of other films. I couldn't tell you what genre this film is. There are so many different. It's every genre. There's drama in it. There's horror bits in it. There's thriller bits in it. There's comedy moments in it. It's just brilliant, and it's just. I don't know. It's just so well done. Every part of the film is just brilliant. The story itself doesn't sound too great, but it's just another. It just spirals. This film just keeps escalating every single scene. It just grows and it grows and it grows.
You kind of got to watch it to know what it's about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
like
very
I
happy I
don't
got the
know
chance.
anything about it other than everyone.
Because we got
is
invited to a
screaming
screening of
themselves
it,
over
didn't we? So it's not out. Is it out in the UK yet? I don't think it is.
No, it's not out. I don't think till February or March next year.
Yeah. So yeah, but Parasite, yeah, top film.
Well, I am
Did you give that a
super
10?
intrigued for that.
I didn't give it a 10. I gave it a 9. But
I
it's
thought
up
you
there
gave
with
it a 10.
Irishman. They're both very borderline. I feel like I need to give them both a second watch to find out if they're actually.
You don't like giving tens out easily, do you?
No,
I don't.
you're stingy,
It's got to
boy.
hit me on a personal note. 10 is personal. 10 is when it's a personal film for me, not just a good, a very, very, very good film.
Interesting.
Well, I think that it's going to be one of the great films when I finally see it. I am excited to see it, but I
Yeah.
just have to wait a little bit
I
longer.
can't really say much more without going into too much for you, Ben, but yeah.
Well, that's the impression that I got, that it was a mixture of all sorts of genres and lots of weird different things keep happening throughout.
Certainly.
I just really hope it doesn't get too overhyped for you before you get there.
No, I don't listen to
the
film
hype train
Twitter.
would have moved by then.
Yeah, they'll have moved on to the new thing that they haven't seen yet, but they've already decided they love.
Come on, Ben, give it us.
Well, it's a no-brainer. I ain't going to waste no time. Number one is The Irishman. It is The Irishman. It is
The Irishman.
the very definition. It's like ironic that Scorsese was saying that Marvel wasn't cinema and stuff in the lead up, because then he did just drop pure cinema on us. It was everything that I love about film. It's the reason why I care so much about film. It's the reason why I do fucking things like this. That's why we do podcasts. It's the reason why I watch films so much. I think about it. I analyze it because of films like this, because it is fucking art. People can spend millions on works of art, and people can go into galleries and stare at things, works of Van Gogh and all of that. This is my fucking art. You don't get better than this. The Irishman was just sublime on every single level. And in the same way that great art, some people can look at it and go, I don't get it, I don't like it, or I'd rather look at fucking Picasso. That's exactly what happened with this. If you like these films, and if you like Scorsese, you're gonna fucking love this. If you don't like these films, that's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But for me, this is one of the greatest films of all time. It went into my top 10 also. It only managed number 10, but it's in there. And I haven't rewatched it yet. I had a plan to rewatch it over this Christmas break again. And if I rewatch it, I may bump it up a little bit, but it's going to take some work to get any higher in my top 10, because it's a fairly prestigious list. But I just absolutely loved it. I loved it.
That's beautiful.
And let me just take this opportunity now, in case he's listening, to shout out Julio, who sent us a very, very thoughtful, long email in response to our podcast.
He did.
Talking about the timings and breaking up the viewing of the film. And we had a very good back and forth on that. And I wanted to just shout out that and appreciate you getting in touch, even though we had opposing views on it. Always good to get the opposing views.
Of course. We love you, Huda, and we love the contrarians.
And we love The Irishman.
We do.
Even though he's John F. Kennedy. It's the only time it gets mentioned.
It's true.
We said that in the podcast, but it didn't get embellished,
Yeah.
so I'm saying it again now.
Go listen to our Irishman podcast.
Please do.
You'll love it.
So,
That's it. We've done it.
we've done it.
We've done it.
We're at the end of another year, boys.
How beautiful is that? But before we actually finish this podcast, we got one little feature that we're going to start doing at the end of every year. We're allowed to re-rate one film that we've watched on the podcast. Whether you've watched it again and decide you want to rate it higher or lower, it is up to you. But just to shift the charts a bit, give other films a little more headway, we'll see. But because we did not do it last year, we also are able to rate one film from last year as well. Okay, so who wants to go first? Or we should just go me first again. We'll keep it with the order.
Yeah, go you first.
Okay, so 2018, I had two shouts that I either want to bring up or down, and that is 3 Billboards and The Meg.
Right.
So 3 Billboards, I watched again and enjoyed it a lot more the second time. I appreciated it a lot more the second time. I don't know whether I was in a different headspace at the time, but I gave it a lot more love the second time. And The Meg, I've just looked at. I think because I've redefined my rating system. So looking at it now, I'm like, why did I give it that score? Because it did not sit well. But I can only change one. And I feel like I should give
3 Billboards.
the better board, the better film, the better rating. So I'm going to give 3 Billboards an 8 rather than a 7.
Sweet.
Oh, lovely.
There you go.
It should be a 10 or 9.
Yes. Do you want to do your 2018s? Then we'll do the 2019s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go then. Go on, Adam.
So my 2018, looking back on it now, I gave Venom a 7. It does not deserve a 7. That's going to get a 5.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's a nice drop, mate. Nice.
I know, that's a big drop for Venom.
Drop.
You dropped Venom right fucking down. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so I am going to bump something up, and I'm going to do it purely for nostalgia reasons and fun reasons.
Okay. Oh my god, I know what you're going to do. Go on.
Well, I'm going to take Tomb Raider, which we all watched together, and we've spoke about so many times and had so much fun, and I'm going to bring that up to a 4. So I'm putting that above from 2 to 4. It was still terrible, but I had some good laughs with you boys, and that's what it's all about.
I'll
Very
tip my
good.
hat to you.
Very good. Tip in that hat.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go for my 2019. I also had two choices in this. It was either Midsummer or Us. Midsummer I watched the second time, and I bumped it up in my ratings from an 8 to a 9. And Us, I went from a 9 to a 10. But I feel like the Us will be more impactful, so I'm giving Us a 10 out of 10.
Wow, you have gone real generous this year with the 10s.
I have.
5 10s.
I have.
I might change my rating of Us now to a 6. Counteract everything you've just done.
Go on, Adam. What are you going to do?
Is that what you're doing?
No. I've had this one in my head, and I wanted to change this one for a while, so I'm going to do it again. It's going to sound like a big drop, but I'm going to drop Captain Marvel, especially after seeing Endgame and seeing how pointless this film. I gave it a 7. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm giving it a 5.
There you go. Well.
Wow, it's the second worst film that you saw. You still think it's better than Terminator Dark Fate. Interesting. What an idiot. So I am also doing an Avengers-related drop. Like I said earlier in the episodes, thinking about it, given everything, there is no way that it deserves...
This is actually going to shift our top films.
Yes, we're going to have to look into this afterwards. But I did still enjoy it, so I can't be too harsh, but it does not deserve that 8, so it's getting demoted to the 7. And it's going below Rise of Skywalker.
Well done. That's nice. I think we're going to get some new good top films.
Mate, because you upgraded 3 Billboards, because by me deducting a point for Avengers Endgame, it would have dropped that down to the exact same point number that 3 Billboards has got. But because you upgraded 3 Billboards, that will go above Avengers now.
Well, there you go.
That's what I like to hear.
That's good.
You and I just tweaked that shit.
This is why it's nice for us to rejig one at the end of the year, just to throw some spanners in the works.
And you know what? I don't know. I upgraded Tomb Raider by 2 points,
It's not going to change.
and I think it's moved The Meg down to our worst ever film.
That's good.
Fantastic. God, what a happy result.
There we
The
go.
Meg deserves that last spot. I've honestly, hand on heart, can't think of a worse film I've seen in the last few years. It's honestly a fucking awful film on every level. I wanted
I know.
the shark to bite bottoms, and
I
he
know.
didn't bite any bottoms.
He was too big. He was just swallowing them whole.
I know. You want a
Are
little
we
nibble
excited
on
for
the
the Meg
bottom.
2?
Yeah, we'll see that ghost shark in the Meg 2.
In the Meg 2, it will bite off Adam's little willy, and his willy will float into the underneath the rubber ring, and it will look like a bit of rice in a Cheerio.
What the hell?
You know.
Well, that was a beautiful episode, and that was a beautiful 2019.
That was a wonderful 2019. So,
It's been lovely.
just to clarify,
Yes.
our top film of 2019 was The Irishman.
Yes, it was. Irishman.
So the top three from this year, The Irishman with an average rating of 9.6, which is fucking incredible. Joker with an average rating of 9.3, and John Wick Chapter 3, 8.6.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wonderbar.
Lovely.
And who knows what 2020 is going to bring.
Oh, I'm so excited to start this list again fresh.
Oh,
Very
it's going to be
excited.
Tenant. I feel it already.
Well, shall I say the socials?
Say them.
Here we go. You can get in touch with us at FilmBusters Pod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Or you can go to our website at www.filmbusterspod.co.uk. We also have our personal Twitter accounts. I'm at FilmBusters Paul.
I'm at FilmBusters Adam.
And I'm at FilmBusters Ben.
It's been a beautiful year, guys. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us. And then on
Thank
to a
you.
lovely 2020.
FilmBusters.